Hey everyone, it's Jake from Westguy, and today we're going to dive into the FJ400 SE. All right, let's start first with powering on the unit. So when we look at the FJ400 SE, it is AC only. So we're going to go ahead and find our power cord and we're going to flip it on. Now that I've found my power cord, I'm going to go ahead and attach the power cord into the power cord receptacle. We're going to slide that in. Once we have that slid in, we're going to go ahead and flip the on switch to the FJ400 SE. Now that we have our FJ400 SE powered on, let's go ahead and talk about mounting options. The FJ400 SE comes with a Bowens S mount, so you can mount any Bowens S mount modifiers onto the front of your FJ400 SE. All you have to do is click it in, rotate and twist. Also, there's included an umbrella receptacle directly in the tilter bracket. So if you want to attach any kind of umbrellas with a 9mm shaft or smaller, you can attach it via the umbrella receptacle. Note, anytime you want to attach an umbrella, you're going to have to go and loosen the tension screw to open up the receptacle. And then once you have your umbrella in there, let's go ahead and just tighten down that tension screw and you're all good to go. So let's go over the menu settings in the FJ400 SE, and we'll just go ahead and start at the top. So the very first button that you have is group and channel. So let's go ahead and set those. Now, I personally always recommend channels 5 through 15 always for your wireless channel setting. So we'll go to group. I have a group on group A, which I'm fine with, but if you would want to change it, once it starts to blink, go ahead and rotate the dial here to whatever group you want it on. I'm going to set it back to A. While it's still blinking, click it one more time, and then you'll go over to the channel selection. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that over to channel 5, and then you can either let it time out, or you can press the button again to lock it in. Okay. So now that I have it on channel 5 group A, I have my trigger right here, my FTX3M. Let's go ahead and do a test button and make sure it fires. It fired. Perfect. And it changed it to the power that's on my trigger. So the next button down, we have our modeling bulb and our recycle modes. So if we click on the modeling bulb once, it sets it to modeling bulb auto. So it's going to determine how bright the modeling bulb is by the power of your strobe. So the higher up my power is, the brighter the modeling bulb is going to be, and vice versa. Okay. The FJ400 SE is equipped with two different types of recycle modes. We have fast and stable, and you can tell which one you're on by looking in the upper left-hand corner. So right now it's at fast, which is the default. Your recycle time there is 1 second, which is amazing, okay? Now, if we want to switch it over to stable mode, that switches your recycle time to 2.8 seconds. Now, to switch that, all you're going to do is you're going to press and hold the second button here on the strobe, and you'll see that it switches over to an S, which is perfect, okay? Let's talk about power draw with the FJ400 SE. The FJ400 SE pulls about 8 amps in fast recycle mode at power level 9. Whereas if you have it in stable mode, it only pulls 5 amps. Well, where does this come into play? This comes into play when you'd have 3 or more FJ400 SEs in fast recycle mode at max power plugged into a single outlet or a power strip. This may overload it or trip a breaker. To prevent this, we recommend that you put your FJ400 SEs in stable recycle mode when you have 3 plugged in. This will reduce the total power to 15 amp, helping you to avoid tripping the breaker. Let's go over the last button. So our last button here is sound and optical sensor. So let's go into what that means. By single clicking the button once, we turn on the audible beep. What this does is once your light has fully recycled, once you take a picture, it'll make a beep, okay? Next, let's talk about optical sensor mode. If you want the FJ400 SE to fire when any other flash goes off in the room, all you have to do is press and hold, and this will turn on optical sensor mode. So again, if it sees any light go off in the room, it'll flash. No, when the optical sensor is enabled, the FJX trigger will not fire the FJ400 SE. It will only go off when another flash pops in the room, and then it'll flash the FJ400 SE. So don't forget to turn it off when you're done with your shoot. To disable the optical sensor, just go ahead and press and hold, and now our FJX trigger will work. You can adjust the FJ400 SE in tenths of a stops or full stops, and I'll show you how to do that. You can either rotate here with the dial and do tenths of a stop, or if you press and hold the dial, the power will start to blink, and then you can make full stop adjustments. But most of the time, you'll make those adjustments on your FJX trigger. The FJ400 SE is equipped with front and rear curtain sync. You can make that selection from your FJX trigger. A couple of quick notes on the FJX wireless trigger. If you would set TTL mode on your FJX wireless trigger, your FJ400 SE will default to the last power that was set on your trigger. So currently my power level is 5. If I switch it into TTL mode, you will see the 400SE still defaults to power level 5. If you have an FJX wireless trigger set at power level 1 through 3 on the FJ400SE, the FJ400SE will default to power level 4 as that is the lowest power available on this strobe. Please be aware if you're using an FJX wireless trigger that any settings that you set on the FJX wireless trigger will override anything that is set on the FJ400SE. So the best practice is always to make every adjustment from your FJX wireless trigger. All right, everyone, that's it today for the FJ400SE. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, thanks for watching.